Howdy everyone, I'm Wolf, and today we're playing Palworld. It's a survival RPG where you catch adorable little monsters that totally aren't that other game you're thinking of. Don't ask questions. It looks pretty wholesome, so let's dive right in. My story begins, like many others, washed up on an unknown island with naught but a tablet inscribed with a cryptic two-sentence guide: "The towers are the key, the tree holds the truth." Right away, I got to work making a workbench and crafting a rudimentary weapon and my first pal sphere to catch a pal. Do I want to do this? Do I want to beat this little lamb ball? Yes, I do. Yeah. Easy. With one pal down, it was time to set up camp. I threw down a pal box and a new workbench. Exercising my dominion over the pals of the earth, I began to craft tools that would help me on my journey with collecting resources like wood and stone. And these tools would double as weapons, because a pal that exists without my knowledge exists without my consent. Trapped on all sides by the cold night air, I resigned to cooking some berries to pass the time before deciding on constructing some additional shelter. With a small home and a cozy bed, I got a few winks before I'd started again on a new day, my second day on these mysterious islands. The early game is a bit of a grind, cutting down tree after tree to grow my ever-shrinking pool of resources. Everything relied on more and more wood and stone as a base, and I kept working until my tools would break, requiring more resources to then replace them. I taught the pals about responsibility and the importance of a strong work ethic as we toiled away to provide shoddy beds of straw and wood. To further emphasize my paternal role over these creatures, I couldn't stop myself from throwing a dad joke in while we worked. Teamwork makes the daydream work. Truly, I was on fire with my jokes. With a place to sleep, they'd need a place to eat as well, and they weren't exempt from working for this either. You've earned your dessert today, Lamball. As I gained experience in this world, literally and metaphorically, leveling up granted me more technology points to further expand my base of operations. Forgoing the luxuries of furniture and decoration, I chose a more Spartan lifestyle that would allow me to focus on crafting new tools and weaponry that would help in capturing more pals. While working on my base, a sudden twinkling sound and a glowing Cativa took my attention. I didn't know what it meant exactly, but I knew this Cativa was special and I had to have it. This, let's call it shiny Cativa, would soon become the newest family member in my base. With ranged weaponry now in my arsenal, I knew what I had to do when I spotted this flying pal. The advanced technology of the bow and arrow that I had at my disposal now would surely elevate me in the food chain far beyond this simple beast. But much like Icarus, I flew too close to the sun, and this bird sent me tumbling back down to reality. Returning from death to retrieve my gear, he was gone, but I wouldn't rest in my hunt. Finding another Nightwing nearby, Daydream was a much more effective ally thanks to its dark abilities, and I added one more pal to my roster. Unfortunately, the one Nightwing I was able to capture turned out to be a total coward. With my cowardly Nightwing, I brought in another few pals, one after another after another. With my XP gains, I discovered the Melpaca I caught was rideable, meaning I finally had my first mount. But first things first, the sun had come up, meaning it was time to make some breakfast. Wanting to cook up my ingredients before they go bad, I remembered the Fox Sparks had a rank in kindling, and sure enough, with breakfast now automated, I went off to aggressively recruit new members to my team. But when my pal spheres failed me, I rushed back to base in an attempt to make some more as fast as I could, not wanting to waste the opportunity that I had. This ended up becoming a full-scale brawl while I scrambled to craft some pal spheres. The Hoocrates just didn't want to be caught, it seemed, and had to be put down. Sorry, Hoocrates, no philosophy class today. Building up my base a little more, I acquired the Palgear workshop and an egg incubator, so I could hatch any of those pal eggs I came across out in the wilds. With my next goal to achieve some self-sufficiency, I set about unlocking the stone pit and the logging site so my pals could generate stone and wood inside my base. No longer would I have to run out and chop down more trees or dig up rocks myself. Such is a major stepping stone in many survival games like this, automating the more menial tasks so that you can focus on the inevitably larger ones down the road. After a long day working towards my dreams of autarky, what better way to unwind than wanton murder? Refreshed and ready to return to work, I finally started crafting a saddle for my alpaca. Unbothered by the blood of his fellow lamballs dripping from my spear, my floofy boy ran right over to help me before deciding that picking berries from the berry plantation was ultimately more important. Finally, the saddle was ready and I could ride my alpaca at blazing speeds. I found out running into pals does damage and started a little skirmish we quickly wrapped up, earning more sweet XP points. With that, I was off on my trusty steed once again to pick up more pals and explore the region a little further. Riding around, fighting more pals, it soon became night, and I decided to pursue the Chillet I'd seen earlier. On a night raid, I went after another of the nocturnal pals, this time catching a tombat with an apparent bottomless stomach. Wounded from the fight, I found another fast travel point and went back to my base to rest up and repair my gear before attempting a fight with the Chillet while another egg incubated. With the fire egg hatching a fire pal to no one's surprise, I'd now have a source of flame organs if I could get a farm built. One more step towards self-sufficiency. With base logistics settled for now, it was time to face the Chillet. Unprepared, with the wrong type of pal out, I was promptly handed my own ass and sent back home by the icy dragon ferret. But after reviewing my handy-dandy chemistry textbook and realizing that fire melts ice, I returned with my foxbarks. Sadly, we were just too good, and Foxbarks dealt the death blow before I could capture it in my pal sphere. Ah well, next time. With the first mini-boss down, I caught a few more pals and went home to wrap up another day, finding my pals hard at work running my little self-sufficient base, growing their own berries, cutting down wood, mining stone. The grind would get a little easier going forward, and I went to sleep, happy with my accomplishments. So what did I think of my first 7 days in Palworld? With my camp settled and several workstations set up, I've put myself on the road to success, but what will that look like for me? Clearing every tower and killing every mini-boss? Finding the secrets at the base of this mysterious and distant tree? Or maybe success would come in a quiet and comfortable farm, taking care of my pals. Wherever this journey goes, let's find out together. I'm Volcanus, and if you've made it this far, all the way to the end of the video, let me just say from the very bottom of my heart, thank you for watching. I'm just starting out here, and each and every view means a lot to me. If you'd like to go one step further and hit the like, leave a comment, or subscribe to my channel, it would be a great encouragement. Thank you.